Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
It's Wyatt.
and we're back bringing you guys another movie review. Trap by M. Night Shyamalan. Man, what? Let's start out with general thoughts. I just want to say one thing. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I think was I think the trailer had already been out, but I was sick, so didn't go through to the theater for a little while, and so then I finally came back to the theater to watch The Fall Guy early May. And that's when
hmm
I first saw the Trap trailer. And man, let me tell you, I was like over the moon excited about it already with just seeing the trailer. And then at the end, it said it was an M. Night Shyamalan film. And I was like through the roof excited. I was like, oh my goodness, I literally cannot wait for this to come out because the concept in itself is just so good, I think. I think it was great. I think the trailer does a great job of making sure that you want to go see this movie in the theaters, at least for me. And
You know me. You know me. I'm not a trailer guy, so
yeah,
I didn't even see the trailer. Just
okay,
for the audience, I don't watch trailers. I feel like trailers spoil scenes and spoil little things in the movie for me.
sure.
Just how my mind works. Your mind not work might not work like that. But for me,
Oh,
I'm
it
a no
definitely
trailers
does.
type of guy. Give me a surprise.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're not wrong though. Trailers these days, definitely do that without a doubt.
Yeah,
I
some
just
some
still
are very
watch them.
revealing.
Yeah, especially like horror movies and comedy movies. It's like you told me every joke that was supposed to be funny in the film in the trailer, and you showed me every like jump scare that was supposed to be scary in the trailer. Fully agree.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
no, yeah.
But with that being said, I was still very excited and I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. And I kept having it in the back of my mind, like, like when's that gonna come out? When's that gonna come out? And like keep it basically having that date circled on my calendar type thing.
hmm
All for to be well disappointed. I cannot lie.
Man, the most disappointing movie of 2024.
I'll buy into that just because of how
Yeah.
excited
So
I was, and then to be let down like that, definitely a
so
heartbreaker.
far.
Yeah, sure, I'll buy into that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, it might be the worst movie to come out this year. It might not be, but disappointing is a great word. Definitely the most disappointing, especially because maybe I've seen other movies, but I don't have a lot of expectations going into it. So it's different. But when I
Well,
am actually excited for one, and then it lets me down like this, then oh, that's just the worst.
I left the theater debating like what was the worst thing that I've watched since this, and I was like maybe the Acolyte because how
Mm,
cringy the Acolyte was because this was like nothing but cringe the whole way through, like from the beginning of the movie to the very end. I was cringing. Like that's how bad
yes.
the acting was. That's how flat the humor was. How oddbally the humor was with Josh Hart. And usually this guy's a pretty good actor. Like
Yes.
I
I
saw
didn't
him
even know he was
starring
in
in this.
Oppenheimer, by the way. Did you know that?
What role?
I don't
I'm forgetting his role in Oppenheimer.
he's like a scientist of some kind. He didn't have a big role, but after, seeing this movie, I went and did some research on him and he was literally in Oppenheimer, which is crazy. He was in Oppenheimer, he's apparently in The Bear, I was like, "Oh man." And obviously we know he's in Black Hawk Down, but
hmm
I was just like, he didn't have a big role, but I was just like, oh man, he was in there, clearly trusted by Nolan. So that's a big thing. And because he won't
hmm
just cast anybody, but definitely like, what was this? I think that's the best way to describe it. You said it. I think the word is cringy. It's just cringe.
Yeah, it's cringe. I feel like he had an oddball sense of humor,
Hmm.
and like he didn't even seem human in the conversations he was having.
Which,
Like he was so like weird. Like
yeah,
which
yeah,
I know that's kind of like a thing M Night Shyamalan has kind of been like known for, like in his like conversational pieces and dialogue within his movie.
yeah.
But in this sense, where we're talking about a logical situation, it just did not work for me. It didn't work with the suspense going on and stuff.
Yeah,
Eh.
sure. Yeah. And I think, to be fair, I think the only thing I could give it towards any type of positive sides of things is if that was the goal and the mission to be this cringe, then maybe it's a fairly accurate at the same time because, dude, it's like I just imagine myself like a dad at a Taylor Swift concert, like that's already cringe in itself. So like
But
maybe I could look
it's
at it that way, but it's
it's
still
so
just
cringe.
too, yeah,
It's so cringe. It insults the intelligence of human beings. Like I feel like my intelligence got insulted with this movie. Like,
man.
bruh, yeah,
That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
well, but and then also another perspective or angle you can come at it from is serial killers are not very human. They're like desensitized to like what a human is and how it behaves.
Hmm.
So like this kind of weird type of just almost robotic like way of going about things is up the alley of what a serial killer would be like. So on that front, on those two fronts, I can kind of like
But you can't act like
whatever.
that when like there's hundreds of cops looking for you. Like if he was acting like that, oh, you'd be like, oh, serial killer right here. We found the guy immediately after
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
conversation and
yeah,
some of
yeah.
the shit he was doing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're getting pretty close to spoiler territory, so let's just go ahead and
We
do
are.
that. Those are our general thoughts without spoiling too much. We just think it's cringe. We'll say rating for me was a 5 out of 10, which is what I give movies. That was just a one-time watch, and it's just like an okay thing. Like okay thing. We'll never watch it again. It's like completely middle of the road. That is my take on it. What is your rating, Wyatt?
Man, I've never seen you give a 5 before. My rating is a 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is pretty low.
yeah.
I could have gave it I could have gave it a 2. Really. It's that low of
Mm,
a movie.
yeah. I just think, and we'll touch on them here in a little bit. It does have some redeeming qualities towards the ends that I really enjoy, but if only they could have just made it one whole cohesive thing, I think it would have been great. But it didn't accomplish that, which is why it's just middle of the road for me. Like right out
Hmm.
of 5, I'll never watch it again, and it's just simply like, just it is a movie basically. Like that's how I look at fives. But anyways, with that being said, 5, 3. We'll probably say not a good watch. Don't go see it. I mean,
Yeah,
probably if you
don't
really
waste
want
your
to see
money.
it, wait for like it to come to streaming because I'm sure it'll be
Exactly.
coming anytime soon. This one is definitely
Yeah.
not gonna be out there in the theaters for very long. So definitely just wait on this one. I would pass up the $20 ticket and go buy you like a nice dinner or something instead. But
Yeah, spend your money elsewhere.
right,
Let's get into it. One of the
spoilers.
main Yeah, this is not even spoiler territory, my first issue, and so if you want to hang on audience for this one of my biggest issues with the movie, did you know that Raven Salika is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter?
Oh no, I didn't. But that makes sense. Why is that a
Okay.
problem?
It makes sense because the movie, especially the concert parts, you can see that they're letting a lot of the songs play out like it's kind of like like they're really showing a lot of the concert. They're showing a lot of her singing. This film, I feel like, was made just to boost her career, her singing and acting career. And we see
Mm,
that as we get to the end of the movie because she becomes one of the main characters in the movie, and not just the person they're seeing in concert. I watched a couple of other YouTubers go in depth about how long of a duration that they were spending of her on stage, and
mm.
just I just feel like that his daughter's singing career was the main focus in this film.
Oh, it's a singing part, not the being an. She wants to be a singer, not an actor. Okay, I see.
She is a
Or
singer.
is
She
a
goes by
singer.
Salika. Yeah,
Sorry.
she goes by Salika, I
Okay.
believe.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know
and
that.
I feel like I feel like that really threw this movie adrift and making it
Interesting.
all. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't know this, but I'll say
yeah.
this. Maybe I just didn't even look much into like I didn't pay too much attention to that because I guess I was already prepared for like a concerty film. And while I watch types of movies like this, I focus a lot on like I basically put myself in the serial killer's shoes, for lack of a better
Hmm.
term, and I'm like, how do I get out of this? And it's a very hard and sticky situation the way it was set up, the trap to get out of. So that's why I never really looked too into them showing like the concerts bit too much because I would need that much time to think. And like what more can you show while you're just sitting at your seat trying to plot this out? So I think at least in my opinion, the times where he was in action or on the move or going to get the t-shirt or going in the back or getting the radio or this that and the third, like all that was like actually very well thought out, and I really liked like the strategic side of things. Obviously the acting
Man,
falters.
I felt like all that was illogical. Like everything about it
Illogical,
was
I mean,
illogical.
it's
Yeah,
definitely not
yeah.
realistic.
All of
We've
it was
been to millions of
illogical.
concerts, so
All of it was stupid. Stupid bullshit. The guy telling them, the t-shirt guy bringing him backstage to get the t-shirt. Come on.
I mean
When
it's
this is supposed to
corny.
be a high
Definitely
security,
corny.
they're supposed to have everything. They're supposed to have everything locked down and stuff like that. I did like the guy's character, the t-shirt guy. Like he was the only thing that was funny the whole movie, but that was super illogical to me. Taking him backstage to his keys, and then walked, bro. The scene where he walked through the room of all the police officers with the coffee, like
Oh yeah,
nobody
yeah.
said, like, "Hey, this is the guy that fits the description." Out of the what 36 dads or whatever the hell number they said were there with a single daughter, like
3,000. Yeah.
3,000. My bad,
You good.
but
Same
still,
difference.
bro, like y'all, like, oh, this guy fits the description. Let's check him out. Just because
I
he
don't
has a
I
name
don't
tag on, you
I
go,
don't know. I don't know. Like I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, and it's
yeah,
totally true. And we go to events, we go to concerts, we go to go see live music very often. All of this stuff that he's doing would not fly and would get shut down immediately. Obviously, in like the real world, that doesn't work. But I guess at least in my case, while I was watching it, I really wasn't like looking to look at it through that angle of like real world thing. Just more like,
and the thing
how does
is,
he get out of
you
this?
could. I wasn't even looking at it that way either because the movie was so cringe. All I was thinking
Yeah, I
about how
was
cringe the movie
pretty.
was.
Yeah, I was pretty distracted because like anytime, like dude, the first like 15 to 20 minutes when he's just like getting to his seat from like being with his daughter and everything, and like I'm just like, yo, this is mad corny. But again, I tried to like calm
I
myself down because I'm like, if I were to like drive past the Taylor Swift concerts, I would see shit like that. A lot of really cringy stuff because it's like just cringy, like fangirls and little girls who like look up to pop stars with their daddy, like like things like that do exist. So I tried to like keep my composure, but without a doubt, it's difficult to watch because it's just like maybe just a little extra. Like you could have gone the corny route and the cheesy route and the cringe route, but like it was like at a level where it's kind of, dude, I laughed a lot, not from funny, but from like the corniness and like
yeah,
very serious moments.
there was like a lot of scuffs and like just like exclamations from the crowd that wasn't really like laughter, but you're just like, what? Like,
Yeah, 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 exactly.
man,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, 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 yes. Same in my theater. Yes, exactly. That's
yeah,
basically what
yeah.
I was getting at. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Now, I think, but going back to the thing about his daughter, I didn't know that, but I, oh, man, I don't. Yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they did lock in on her a little too much. I just didn't even, until you just brought it up, I didn't really even think about it like that because I was just so like worried with like everything else. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, like if you look at the runtime of this movie, it's like an hour and 48, hour and 50, so it's like not long at all. So if you stop focusing on her, the movie probably becomes like an hour and 30 minutes because it's true. There really not a lot happened until like the last like third act, which is like probably the shortest act of them all, and sadly the best one of them all. So you made the best part of your movie the shortest part of your movie.
Man, it was still bad. The third act was still terrible.
I mean, I don't think any of this is high quality. However, I really, when we were in non-spoiler territory, I was referring to some redeeming qualities. I think one of those is definitely the way everything played out post, excuse me, them leaving the venue.
Hmm.
I think that was like by far the most interesting stuff, like that actually piques my interest and like actually
Well,
had me like interested in what, because everything before that I was just like, dude, what am I watching? Like, this is so cringe. But then once we get out of the venue, I think everything actually becomes more interesting to me because it's like, well, now you have the pop star with you and she knows you're the killer. So how do you get out of this situation? I was actually very intrigued in that, personally.
bro, I mean, she should have just left and called the police. Instead, she tries to save the day and asks to go into the serial killer's house. What?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that shit, yo.
Well, yeah, no
No.
normal human would,
I'm
but
trying to get
plot.
the hell out of this situation.
Yeah, but you have to service the plot somehow.
Then, like, service the plot and, like, have him go in there and, like, somehow kidnap his family and try to get away or something other than her going inside, taking his phone, getting on IG Live, and in the bathroom for like 5 minutes while he's just knocking. Hey, let me in. Let me in. Bruh, a real serial killer's gonna knock that fucking door down and come in there and handle the situation if his like life is being threatened like that, like it already has been the whole night. And he's finally away from police and stuff like that, like Ovi, over with.
Like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I just didn't find that part, like all of that, as bothering as everything that came before it. I
Yeah,
think it
and
was
she's
fine.
like on
And
IG
like,
Live. In like 4 seconds, people have found her address and stuff like that from
I
IG
mean,
Live. It was just wild, yo.
that's I don't think that's far fetched. I think if Taylor Swift was locked up in a bathroom and she went live and asked for something similar, that also would happen because it's literally millions of people
Do
on
you
an
remember the
IG live.
question she asked? I don't even remember what she asked.
She asked if anybody lived near a park with a broken lion statue, and then there was a house with a blue door.
Oh wow, that is vague as hell. Like, oh my gosh. Like if you were to say something more specific, okay. But that is pretty vague.
In Philadelphia, she said specific.
That's pretty vague.
I mean, that's like
Uh,
saying, I don't know, I drive past something every day and somebody was like, does somebody know? I don't know. But regardless, I think that's the that guy being rescued by some civilian that was like called through on her IG live was like the least of my interest. I was just more intrigued at
I'm
like
just
how
the
this
whole
guy
IG
got
the
out
whole
of.
IG live scene to him knocking, taking his time getting through the door, like just the whole
Well, I
scene.
think if his family wasn't there, he definitely would have. He wouldn't have even. He would have busted it down the first knock. But
But
because
he's
his family was there, he had
but
to
he
take
was
a
found
different
out.
approach.
Like she already yelled out that he was the killer, and his wife already knew. His
His
wife
wife
was
did
the
already know.
what was the reason for all of this. So
Yes,
yeah, that's kind of out
but
the
he didn't know
window.
that at the time.
But he did
Well,
know
he
that
he figured it out though.
she yelled it. She's locked inside. He has this world-renowned superstar locked in his bathroom. Like that's not a good look. It's not looking good for you, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just think like, especially how he kept like evading a situation. Like literally, he gets her in the car, opens up the garage, the family's there, so then she escapes out of that situation. Then he like gets out when the police show up through the back by like taking a cop out and putting on his suit, then taking over the limo. Now he has her in there. Like then they like it's like a full SWAT surrounding the limo, and then he gets out of that too. Like that, I think those are redeeming. I think that's like the only good stuff about this. I kept being impressed of like how he kept getting out of the situation. That's like I said, everything after
I was like, are
once
they
they
gonna
get out
end
of the
this shit?
house. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking that. I wanted to see how he was gonna. Like I
Well,
said, that's how I always
you
think about these things. Like movies like this, I'm thinking, how does person in question get out of the situation? So I'm in it until that occurs,
mhm.
and so that's why I was like more locked in after they left the venue because that's when that side of things actually started. Everything before, while still being in the concert venue, was just like a waste of my time, basically. Even though not really, because like sure he did some things like get the radio and get this, get to the backstage and all this, but yeah, like it was more concert than plot if that makes sense. So I liked everything after that. And again, I'm not saying it's like the greatest thing ever after that either, but it's definitely like the more enjoyable part of this movie versus the like concert part for me.
I will say the latter half was a little more entertaining than the concert aspect of the movie and the
Hmm.
concert time period they spent, but it was still almost just as cringe as the concert and almost just as illogical as the concert. You talked about him sneaking out the back. I'm like, okay, I get that. He was disguised. But when they took him when they arrested him for what, like the third ending of this movie. Uh hold up. He was inside, his wife offers him pie and all that, and then the police finally capture him,
Hmm.
and they're just walking him out there like a drunk college kid that got stopped for a DUI. Come on, buddy. Like, sorry this happened to you or something like that. Let him stop at the bike
Yeah,
and
that is
pull
definitely
a spoke off to
yeah.
get out of the handcuffs.
Hmm.
Not to have his hands in the front off
Hmm.
rip.
Yeah,
And to walk them out willy nilly, bro. If you've killed multiple people, they are dragging your ass
yeah,
out of there. Like, you are not their friend. You're a murderer.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you. This is not like a kumbaya
Hmm.
to jail. You don't get to say bye to your family. Like, you
Yeah,
like put your family in danger. Like, so illogical, bro. Just really threw me out of it.
yeah. That I will have to agree. That was um as I told you, I never at any point in time looked at this movie through like that lens. But it's funny in that specific scene where he gets down to grab the bike spike or whatever. I did immediately think that I was like, oh heck no, like that would never happen. Nor the hug,
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
his daughter came up for a hug, that would also never happen. Like you're getting put in
That
the
would never
back of a
happen
car
either.
immediately, like
Yeah,
like immediately. And definitely cuffed with your hands behind your back, like undoubtedly. Like that's like the first thing that's happening for sure.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
from that side of things, they definitely he definitely didn't even need to include that. Like he could have just M Night Shyamalan could have written this out perfectly fine with him being arrested properly, hands behind the back, gets taken away, and that's how it ends. He got caught. Period. You didn't have to end it with this kind of thing where it's like, oh, he got away again. It's like that gives us it doesn't change anything. It only adds this
Yeah,
level of unrealistic things, more unrealistic things occurring that, like you said, for people take them out of the experience of being invested in this movie. So really, it's actually an unnecessary thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I
And
would have
it,
left
it
the theater just the same way had he been caught, than knowing he like is like loose again or whatever, that he got out of that situation again. If anything, I might have left feeling better because, like you said, it's like kind of like a really unrealistic way to end things.
yeah, yeah. So, man, we had high hopes for this movie,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, not very good results from M. Night Shyamalan and his daughter in this one.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't have much more to say. I think we covered it all, and I
Yeah.
might have
This.
seemed like I was ranting at points, but like that's just how bad like this movie is, and for them to waste X amount of dollars that they did just to promote M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. I'm looking at his directing and his works going forward a little different now.
Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. I definitely am disappointed, like I said. And honestly, I think this makes like, well, I would say this makes 0 for 2 in his last films because then there's Knock at the Cabin, but I definitely enjoyed Knock at the Cabin way more than I did this. Although I will say I had higher hopes for Trap going into it, therefore it was more disappointing. Like Knock at the Cabin was just
Knock at
one
the Cabin wasn't the worst movie, but I did enjoy it a lot more than this. Like, I
yeah,
actually had a decent time watching that movie.
right, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. But I definitely like going into Trap, I was definitely more hyped about it, which is why it's way more disappointing. Like it just kind of don't you hate that feeling like you go into a movie theater like really excited about what you're about to watch, like because it's not like that every time. You know, sometimes you just go and like you're
Yeah,
never going thinking you're gonna watch a bad movie, but some you're more excited than others. And in those moments where you're going in there to watch one that is on the higher end of your excitement and then it completely lets you down, I think that's like the worst thing ever. I think it's so bad.
it's a bad feeling.
It's a
And
bummer.
if we paid for tickets and didn't have the AMC Movie Pass, oh, I'd be getting pissed off. Like, I want my money back. Like, messaging the director, I want my money back. You scammed me.
That's
But
funny.
fortunately, we have the AMC Movie Pass.
Yeah.
If you don't have the AMC Movie Pass, I recommend to go and get it. It's $22 a month, and you get unlimited movies. Technically, 3 movies a week, but who is going to see more than 3 movies a week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
best.
there's not that many new movies to see. Like, you can't see what 12 movies on the month. 12 movies don't even come out within the month.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great investment.
Yeah. We should
Big
get
fan of the
sponsored by
AMC.
AMC to plug them.
Yeah.
That'd
We
be
should.
lit.
Yeah, we'll give them free advertisement from now on. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much
Oh,
all
it
I have to
requires.
say on Trap. Do you have
Yes,
anything
that's
else to
all I
say?
got. We have. No, I don't want to talk about Trap anymore. I'm
Okay.
done with Trap.
Bet.
We have Borderlands. Borderlands coming up, guys. We are both going to see that tomorrow night, so expect a review and reaction
Soon.
coming very, very soon for that. Maybe Saturday or Sunday. I'm
Probably
thinking.
Monday.
Okay,
Yeah.
Monday it is.
Yep. We'll
And then
record it Saturday or Sunday, but we'll upload Monday. I
okay,
think.
cool.
Yeah.
And then next week we have Alien coming up, which
Alien
I'm pretty
Romulus.
excited about.
Yeah. That'll
I'm
be
gonna
good.
watch the first Alien to get caught up. I've watched it previously, probably about 10 years ago, but I'm gonna watch the first one
Hmm.
to get in the mood, get in the
Right.
zone
Yep.
for this movie, and I'm excited. I watched it as a kid for the first time with
I've
my
never seen
dad.
them, so I'm gonna watch both of them for the first time ever. To
Okay,
get
okay.
prepared for this movie. Yeah. Um, those types of movies have never been my thing, like just alien sci-fi stuff.
Hmm.
But I didn't know until I watched the trailer for this new Alien in the movie theater that Alien is actually like a horror movie type thing, essentially. And now I'm intrigued. So I'm gonna watch them, be prepared for this new one, and we'll definitely be addressing our thoughts on that movie. Probably next week, the week after, the week following, whenever it comes out. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, it's a
gonna
good
do
time.
it. Yeah, that's gonna do it
It's a good
for
time. We got
us.
some great movies coming up.
Yeah. I think we're about to flip the corner. And hey, by the time Alien comes out, it'll be the end of August, and then shortly after, we'll be like just over a month away from Joker, which is like the film I'm most excited about on the second half of the year. Can't wait for that. And some other good stuff. We still have some good stuff coming out this year. So it's about to turn around. It definitely got a little slow, I think. A little not slow, but a little just dipped in quality, I think. I think personally. But also I've been sick, so I wouldn't know. I've been missing a lot of movies. I can't really speak on that. I'm just saying from the outside looking, I think it feels that way. Whereas like we started the year with like bangers, I think. But anyways, well, that's gonna do it for us. We're gonna log off a Trap. We want to probably never talk about it ever again, and just leave it at that. And we'll move on. Like we said, next video will be Borderlands. We'll probably bring you guys that on Monday. And again, this was the Big Screen Show. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed this video, we try to bring you guys videos just like this at least once a week, sometimes more. So please make sure to also subscribe to our channel because it really does help us out. But this was the Big Screen Show, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace.